No, it does not help at all.
And if it helps his case, I'm 25 in a month, and I've been sat at my desk since 9 o'clock playing FIFA. I got off FIFA about an hour ago.
The fever.
The FIFA?
The
The
fever.
fever. The fever.
Hi there.
Apparently, Doman apparently Dennis didn't take me to school during this podcast. I can't wait.
Wait, he's doing what?
He's going to take me to school.
He's going to take you to school?
He is. I feel like a prom queen.
I promised him. I said, "Get your pen and paper ready, because I'm about to take you to school."
Take you.
I feel like a
church,
prom
too.
queen. That's all I'm going to say. Hello everybody.
Well, I feel that since we have one fan on the other side and the other fan on the other side of this Super Bowl edition of the Still Talking podcast,
I can't help but feel we have a referee.
I believe that I am going to be the referee for this this contest. So let's start it off. Welcome everybody into the Still Talking podcast, a special episode number 30, Super Bowl edition of the Still Talking podcast. There's three of us here. I, Doughman, will be your referee. On the left side, wearing green, rooting for green, that is Greenfly. Rooting interest in the Philadelphia Eagles of the NFC. On my right side, wearing red, the color of blood, because he's going for the jugular in this. That is Modenis, a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs, winners of the AFC, representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. We have Philadelphia Eagles versus the Kansas City Chiefs tomorrow, Sunday. Sunday. But we are here for a special edition of the Still Talking podcast to go over a few things with the podcast. I'm going to turn it over to Modenis. That way he can lay out the ground rules and basically how we're going to, how they want to talk about stuff today.
Indeed. Actually, real quick sidebar. Before we get started, even though we've already gotten started, I do want to take a very quick second. That's not podcast related. I won't go into full detail. I won't go divulge into it because it's not the podcast to it, but I wanted to do this publicly. Domain Greenfly. I could not ask for better friends in any way or face. I can't say thank you enough for what your friendship truly means to me. This is not Dennis talking to Doman or Greenfly. This is Micah talking to Bob and Lewis. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, both of you.
Stop it.
We're all getting emotional. They're going to yell at people here in about 5 minutes. They're going to be yelling at each other.
We're going to get emotional.
This for the next 24 hours, and he knows this. But now that's hard.
No, it's still not hard. I appreciate
It's not
that.
hard.
Same back at you, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
As from myself to the pair of you as well.
Right.
And Jax when he decides to show up.
Yeah,
I can't.
Jax is
I can't say that after last week.
Is the comedic relief of the Still Talking podcast. But
That he is. We'll
yeah.
carry on.
We will carry on.
Our
I
wayward
appreciate that.
sons.
And our wayward son is Modenis. And Modenis is going to break down how we're going to go here.
So I think it's only fitting that we end the show with our predictions. So working our way back. Predictions will be the last thing we talk about. I do want to talk a little bit about betting, some odds, because there's also some pretty cool records that have already been broken with this Super Bowl when it comes to the odds makers and just the betting in general.
Basically, I'm in on that one. So when we're talking about betting, that's all on me.
Yep. We'll talk a little bit about both teams. Talk a little bit about legacy for both teams and coaches, because there's I believe there's some first ballot Hall of Famers on both sides of these teams. And do we talk dynasty? Is it too early to say dynasty? And
I'm happy to talk Dynasty because I want to talk more Legacy than Dynasty.
Fair enough. And then we also, how can we go
Hey, no
talking
worries,
about the
Donald.
Super
Welcome
Bowl
back.
without talking about the halftime show and the commercials? So we're going to try to cover as much as we can in this short amount of time that we have.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. So let's start it off with the betting and the odds.
Absolutely.
Let's start
Yes.
right there. So at the current time, if you're a betting person, if you're not a betting person, the line right now is Philadelphia -1.5. So that basically
I have
means
freaking no idea what any of that means.
basically that means that in Vegas, or the odds makers are predicting that Philadelphia is going to win by. I know you can't get a half point, but they're predicting 1.5 points. So
Yeah,
if
we do in the UK, just to break down for everyone, because I know most of our audience is American. In England, we don't do like the line. We do return/stake. So the Eagles are 4-5. So to get £4 back, you have to put £5 on. So you win £9 if you put on a fiver,
right,
which is £4 plus your stake. So
yeah,
it's it's winning/stake.
yeah, that's what the money line is here. Is what the winning/stake type of thing is. That's what the money line is. But what makes it basically an even bet is you can bet on the Eagles, pretty much even money. But you have to give up 1.5 points, or you can bet on the Chiefs and you get 1.5 points. So basically, how it would go is whatever the thing is at the end of whatever the score is at the end of the game. Say it's 23-20. If it's 23-20 Chiefs and you have the Chiefs side, you would have +1.5, so you'd actually win 24.5 to 20, so you'd win. If for some reason it's 21-20 and you took the Eagles at -1.5, you would actually lose 1.5 points. So on the bet, it would be 20 for Kansas City, 19.5 for the Eagles. Even though the Eagles would win, the point spread just evens it out. Vegas has a lot of really big buildings, so they know what they're doing. They don't care. They don't care who wins. They want even money on both sides. They want approximately the same amount of money and the same amount of risk on both sides. So, so that's where the line comes in at. It's a very 1.5, 2 points is basically just a pick'em game. And there's been cases in previous. I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. There's been cases in previous years where a team's been favored by 7 because they seem to be a better team. The undefeated Patriots. Going against the Giants, I believe they were 7.5 point favorites. So they would have had to win by 8 to cover the spread. So basically, by 1.5 on a neutral site, it's pretty right down the line. Like there's no
very even.
It's very even. The line did open at, I believe it opened at Chiefs -1, I believe. And then it swung to Eagles -1.5. The line will probably move maybe a 0.5 point by tomorrow.
Maybe.
But because there'll be a lot of money coming in today and definitely a lot of money coming in tomorrow.
A ton of money. As a matter of fact, this has already been a record, and it hasn't even been hit for tomorrow yet. There's an estimated to be over $16 billion gambled on this game tomorrow.
Right.
That is a record of any sporting event.
Yeah, I think I saw something where there's 52 million people will legally gamble on this game tomorrow.
Legally, yes, legally. Let me very good. Legally,
10 to 15 million people that will illegally gamble on the game, and that's on sites that are offshore. That's through maybe local venues and stuff like that. But legal bets, 52 million Americans will bet on this game tomorrow.
Yep.
And I mean, obviously, if you've been here, you know that I am a gambler. I have several bets already on the game, and I have several more bets to do tomorrow. And like if you're a gambler, this is it's your Super Bowl. This is
also your Super Bowl.
This is Christmas.
Yep.
So, but yeah, if you have any more, I mean, and that's not just betting on the result of the game.
The outcome, yeah.
I mean, 3 of the most popular bets that you can make in certain states. You can bet on the coin toss, whether it's going to be heads or tails. You can bet on how long the national anthem is going to be sung for, how long it takes to sing, which I believe this year is at 1 minute and 59 seconds. That's the under-over on that. And you can bet on the color of Gatorade that is dumped on the winning coach at the end of the game. I believe orange is the favorite right now, but blue is also.
Orange is the favorite. Blue is, I think, half of their odds.
Right. Orange was the last time that Kansas City won the Super Bowl. Blue was the last time that Philadelphia won the Super Bowl.
Philly, yep. Also, the national anthem will be sung by Chris Stapleton, country music star, performing artist. Mm-hmm. Chris Stapleton.
Yep.
And if he sings it the way he sang Tennessee Whiskey, I'm going with the over.
Yeah, I would say, and it's at the end of it. It's not just, as he starts it, because there was a little controversy a few years ago. I'm not sure who sang it, but they, the home of the brave, and they said brave, and yet they came back like 5 seconds later to continue and say brave again. So it continued the timer, which pushed it over. So, but those are 3 of the. They're called prop bets. Those are 3 of the interesting bets that you can make. I don't really want to get too much into. You can bet on anything, yardage and anything like that. But a lot of the fun bets are definitely out there.
What is the most fun bet that the 2 of you two have on the Super Bowl?
The most fun?
Yeah.
The most fun for me is the coin toss, just because it's legit a 50-50. And then the other one for me is also the national anthem run time.
Yeah.
And the third one is not actually game related. There is a bet on who is going to have the most commercials. And right now, I think Doritos is leading with them having the most commercials, slightly behind, I believe, Bud Light.
Okay. And I'll say that too. Like, I'm not too interested in the coin flip bet, because it is literally 50-50. And that's what, most bets are is 50-50, but
Sure.
Like, you can get really excited when you have your stopwatch out, watching and timing your own national anthem.
Yep.
As you're watching it, to see as you're getting close to the time for you to go over or under. The Puppy Bowl was really good. We're missing Jax, but I don't think he's going to be here for this.
Puppy Bowl is legit.
Puppy Bowl, Bud Bowl, all those. But to me, like the Gatorade bath is because you can have wild cards. You could have purple, red, and literally you place that bet before the game. You're not going to know for 4 hours.
Just about, yeah.
And
that's when you got to sit on.
It could be either team. It just depends on what Gatorade they grab. So to me, the funnest bet, and I haven't placed a bet on that. I don't think I'm actually able to place a bet because I think that one is one that my state won't allow.
I'll bet for you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But
you just message me your pick.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's one of the fun bets that's out there.
Speaking of Gatorade, quick sidebar. Do you call Gatorade by their flavor or their color?
I just call it Gatorade, man.
By their color. Blue, red.
By their color, yeah. Hands down, yes.
Red, yellow.
I feel like for anyone who knows the actual flavor of the Gatorade are psychopaths.
Yeah, they're 100% psychopaths. Yeah.
100% psychopaths.
Yeah.
Like who wants Who wants Glacier Frost? No, I want blue. Give me blue.
Now,
Give me...
I will specify. I will specify because there is blue and there is Glacier Frost. Because blue isn't Glacier Frost, I don't think. There is like a separate...
It's like a white, isn't it? Glacier Frost is...
Yeah, it's like it's a
white.
lighter blue. So...
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I'll definitely specify that. But yeah, if I want Gatorades, I want two... If I'm walking up there, I was like, yeah, give me 2 red Gatorades and two yellow Gatorades.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would just say, give me a Gatorade and hope for the best.
Yeah. Don't you want to know what flavor you're getting? Like, don't you have a preference? Like, if there's 4 of them sitting there, don't you want to like tell them?
No, I'll just say, give me a Gatorade.
See, mine will be, give me a Gatorade. I was like, anything but this color.
Mm-hmm.
At that point.
I would agree.
I drink Gatorade, and I know the flavors, and I know what color they're supposed to be. I just don't really call them by the color.
Yeah,
or by the flavor.
Call them by their flavor. No,
Yeah.
Same thing with Kool-Aid. No one says red Kool-Aid. No one says cherry Kool-Aid. No one says grape Kool-Aid. I want red Kool-Aid or purple Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm. Blue Kool-Aid.
Blue Kool-Aid. Slept on. Agreed.
So yeah, that's our section on betting for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So just before we move on from betting, because I'm quite smart with my money, I haven't bet on the coin toss or anything like that. I don't bet on things that are stupid. However, I did see that it was 200 to 1, which means that if it happens, I am balling. I have put a tenner on both Travis and Jason Kelsey to score a touchdown.
Travis and Jason?
Yes.
You should get way more than 200 to 1 on that.
Yeah, way more.
Jason Kelsey's going to run one in. That's all I'm saying.
I mean... same color, right? Yeah, I mean...
Britt, we have the same Gatorade colours that you do.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to run it in from the center position. He could...
I do. He's just going to pick it up and run it.
No,
I mean, he could
Fumble
recover a
recovery.
fumble. Yeah.
Yeah, you see.
We do have 2 brothers for the first time playing against each other in the Super Bowl. Jason Kelsey is the center for Philadelphia. Travis Kelsey is the tight end for Kansas City. And their mom is Donna Kelsey. And she has a split jersey.
And she is very proud.
Yeah, very proud.
As she should be. Great lineage that came out of her loins. Good for her.
Very, very good lineage.
Red dye is not outlawed in England. I don't know where you've read that. Red food colouring is very much allowed in the UK.
Red dye number 5 with maltodextrose should absolutely be banned worldwide.
Yeah.
So
That's a
is,
conversation for another day.
Mamba number 5 also should be banned.
Couldn't agree more.
Who's doing the halftime show?
Rihanna.
Rihanna's doing the halftime show.
My future ex-wife.
Come on, I want to just go back to what you've just said. Did you just say Mambo number 5 should be banned?
Yes. If we're banning red dye number 5, we're banning Mamba number 5.
Domain, can you suspend Nella for 12 minutes, please? Because
I mean, she is okay. I don't have.
Dennis, I'm gonna be honest. She's okay.
Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on from the betting, even though that's my forte.
Halftime show.
We're moving on to the halftime show. Here's, in my opinion, they're not going to get a better halftime show than what they did last year.
I will agree.
Like that is my.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, like there's not. Now I don't know who Rihanna's bringing on stage with her. I don't know who the side acts are. No idea. But
Eminem's gonna be there surely.
I've heard Drake might be there. I don't know.
Drake, and then potentially
if she
Jay-Z.
gets out Drake, Eminem, and Jay-Z, that is probably the biggest.
But you know what? Last year's with Snoop, Dre, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, 50 Cent was a surprise appearance. And then Kendrick Lamar. Like it, honestly, hit.
I mean, Drake is the biggest artist in the world, like right now. There's no question in that. I'm not necessarily saying he's the best.
Careful, there's some Swifties who might come after you if you say
I'm not
that too loud.
I'm not saying he's the best. I prefer listening to Taylor Swift over Drake.
That's a you problem, but okay.
But I would say Drake is bigger.
Drake, I don't know. Drake could be bigger. Drake does have a really big bet on the game, if that matters. Going back. Let's circle back to that real quick.
Yeah.
This will be. We're in Super Bowl. Someone help me here.
58.
57? Oh, 58.
58?
58. We're in 58. This will be the first Super Bowl where legalized gambling is allowed in the state where the Super Bowl is taking place, which means there will be people on their phones during the game live betting the game.
Yep.
First time ever. The reason I said that was because the Drake thing. Drake's put a lot of money down.
I think he put another $1 million, didn't he?
Yeah.
He put at least another $1 million because he put $1 million on Kansas City to win, and now he's put another $1 million.
Right. So once again,
Easy way to lose $1 million, isn't it?
yeah, $2 million at that point.
Right.
So anyway, we'll circle back to that. I just want to circle back to that because that's kind of like a big thing, especially in the States, because we talked about last year's halftime show. It was in California, so that's with Snoop there, like California Love, like all that. It was a great show. Yep. I'm not looking as I'm not. This year's show to me will not be as good. To me, it could be really good.
Sure.
To other people, to me, it won't be that good. I'll still watch it, but it's normally during the Super Bowl is when I go and refill my plate and go get some more food and stuff like that. During the halftime show, last year I did not. This year I probably will because you don't want to miss the commercials.
That's also very true.
So we'll talk more about the halftime show here, I guess. Continue with your guys' thoughts.
Yeah, I am rather excited. Rihanna is actually pretty high up on my list as far as favorite female artists of all time. So a little biased, slightly, but yeah, I do believe she brings someone out. I'm thinking maybe along the lines of Jay-Z, along the lines of Drake. I don't think she would bring Kanye out just because he's still kind of toxic right now in a lot of people's eyes, or has always been toxic in a lot of people's eyes.
I mean, they have to be allowed by the NFL also, which was really surprising that they allowed everything
Snoop?
last year. Snoop coming out.
I don't think it will be a case of Kanye may still be kind of toxic. Kanye has lost his head.
Right. Will Cardi B be there? Possibly. Like, I can't remember. Like, normally they announce who's the side.
Yeah.
Like last year, you knew what you were getting.
Remember, there was that one year where Beyonce did it, and it was just Beyonce. There was no one else other than Beyonce.
I don't think Rihanna has the star power now to be by herself.
I don't think so either. There are, by the way, bets on what song she sings first. Also,
if it's not Umbrella, I'm writing.
That's not the favorite, honestly.
It's going to be Run This Town.
I think that might be the favorite. I know Umbrella is the second favorite, and that's plus money on that. Once again, back to the betting. I'll throw the betting in. Whenever I see
it all leads back to the betting.
I see fit. But yeah, I mean that's the halftime show.
I like it.
It's always an extended halftime show, so it's different than any other NFL game. It's always longer, so the players have to adjust for that.
Mm-hmm. The other thing they have to adjust for is the TV timeouts for the commercials.
For sure,
they are longer TV timeouts. So yeah. Moving over to commercials.
$7 million, by the way.
$7
million for a 30-second ad.
Yep.
Burger King reportedly paid $37 million.
Yep.
For the ad to run right after the halftime show. And I kind of saw a little bit of the ad, and it looks terrible.
It'll never be as bad as the Jessica Simpson, Carl's Jr. cheeseburger commercial ad from Super Bowl.
Right. But yeah, $7 million for 30 seconds. And they
That's
get
an
it.
expensive hooker.
They get it. I've heard. I'm trying to avoid, because usually they leak commercials. I'm trying to avoid that. I kind of like to experience the commercials as they are.
Same.
But I heard that they're going away. Over the last few years, there's been a lot of crypto commercials. And I've heard that they've really gone away from that. For obvious reasons, probably.
Yep.
So,
How many State Farm adverts do you reckon there are?
State Farm?
Yeah.
I bet you.
Ooh,
I'll
that's
bet you State Farm
a lot.
did not pay for one single commercial.
You know what? As a sponsor of the NFL, I'm sure they didn't. But I bet you they're going to have multiple.
I bet you they do not, and here's why.
I bet
Really?
there are more State Farm adverts than any other company, and I guarantee they've got it all for free.
I don't think so, and here's why. They don't need to. Because you know Patrick Mahomes is in this Super Bowl. You know he's State Farm.
Yep.
The stadium is State Farm Stadium. So they're getting free advertisement, quote unquote free, at the Super Bowl without even having to pay for a 30-second ad.
A dime. Yep.
I don't think
That's
there'll
smart.
be one. Like, usually in like the third quarter, fourth quarter, they start running older commercials. Your target audience is obviously your first quarter, your second quarter, and right into the third quarter.
Right.
But once
Correct.
you get late in third quarter and fourth quarter, those are like rerun commercials. They could possibly have a commercial or two there, but nothing in the primetime spots because they don't need to.
I'm willing to bet money that we get the Patrick Mahomes Jazz Bath advert at least twice in the first half.
I disagree. No, we definitely won't. They're not going to pay $7 million to have a rerun
I don't think
commercial.
they need to. I don't think they need to. That's my point. I don't think State Farm need to.
They're not. Okay, then the NFL is not, or the Fox is not going to miss out on $7 million because they're just doing State Farm a favor. There won't be a rerun commercial in the first half, and that's a rerun commercial that's been out. It's nothing new.
I think we should do a Still Talking podcast advert on the next Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, we'll collect all our money. Everybody donate all your bits, and we get to 7 million. We'll do a 30-second.
Chat. If we make 7 mil in the next 12 months, we will buy a Super Bowl ad.
Right.
And if we make any more, we're keeping it.
True. And Brittany wants you to take a picture of your Gatorade section.
It's like 12:30 in the morning, so that's not happening anytime soon.
I don't know if she meant now. I think she just meant in general. But
I wouldn't somehow make it. Kobe's great. I wouldn't make a football commercial about Kobe, but Kobe is great. Great.
So last thing on the commercials, do we see any brand new movie trailers? Because those have also been pretty epic for Super Bowl commercials. Do we see any new movie trailers?
I'd be surprised if we didn't get a Marvel one in some sense of another. But I couldn't tell you what film it'd be.
I think we'll get a Fast.
Fast 10.
Yeah.
Yep.
A Fast. Commercial.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Marvel one that we could get would be the new Black Widow film that's been announced, purely because it's been announced that RDJ's in it as Iron Man, which is like the biggest thing in Marvel since Marvel started. The fact that he's back, I wouldn't be surprised if that got Super Bowl time.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't be
If
surprised.
I also wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. But
it's like you want all the. I mean, serious commercials happen and stuff like that, but you're just waiting for the Budweiser frogs, and you're waiting for, a Doritos funny commercial. Like, the serious commercials are out there. It's whatever. They're trying to sell this, Volkswagen or this Audi or something like that. But I'm here for the funny commercials.
Oh man, if I put a link in chat, can you put it in? Can you stream it on the thing? Because this is the advert I want to run. We just have to condense it a little bit.
Jones good ass barbecue and foot massage.
Please tell me you've
Oh
seen
my
this.
gosh.
Joe's barbecue and
Barbecue
foot
and foot
massage.
massage.
Joe's barbecue and foot massage.
Um, yeah.
Wow.
Are they coming out with a new Avatar? I believe they.
It's out.
Yeah,
already out,
I
yeah.
thought it was already out.
Yeah, it's out. It's been out a couple of months. I think
The
it came out
local
for Christmas.
commercials. Well, see,
I
I don't know if the
don't-
local commercials. They don't have to pay that type of money for that because that's just filling in local time, not national.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly how it works, honestly.
And to answer Britt's question, yes, Avatar came out on the 16th of December. Avatar: The Way of Water, I believe it was called.
Gotcha. They still play. Oh, they still pay a boosted amount. I gotcha. So, I mean, do you have a favorite commercial of all time? For the Super
Joe's
Bowl?
barbecue and foot massage.
Okay.
Definitely the Waz Up commercial. I mean, that
Yeah,
was classic.
I
up
mean,
there.
is there a bad Budweiser commercial? Bud Light, Bud Ice. Remember the penguins? Beware the penguins.
Yep. Oh, that was good.
Doritos has good commercials too.
Doritos has some very hilarious commercials where the one where they were in the delivery room and the baby flew out to jump at the Dorito. Yep, Doritos baby. Yep.
Yeah. I would say Budweiser. So if you say Budweiser, I think you get Bud Light, you get Bud Ice and stuff like that. So Budweiser does really good. Doritos does good.
I'll tell you what were one of my favorite ones. I think it was last year, might have been the year before. The Zeus and Hera BMW ad, I think it was BMW. Were like Arnie as Zeus and Salma Hayek, and it was like Zeus and Hera retire. I'll try find it and link it, but that I thought that was a good one.
The truck commercial, the Jones. Not sure what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that
I mean,
is
there's
either.
some bad ones that I'm like, they paid that much money for that. Like, it's.
But at that point, is does it even matter if it's bad advertising?
Yeah, it does.
Well, I mean,
Because
with the amount of eyes that are looking at it.
The Tim Tatman commercial, that was good. But that was an NFL commercial. Like that wasn't. That was an actual. I think that was a minute long NFL commercial. There was, like Frito-Lay when they do like their chips and dips and stuff like that. They can have good ones as well. One of my favorite ones, I actually just saw it a couple days ago. Back in my day, was the McDonald's commercial where Larry Bird comes into the gym and Jordan's in the gym, and Jordan is eating a Big Mac, and Larry Bird's like, "I'll play you for it." So they're playing like a game of horse, and like obviously neither one of them miss. That was a good commercial from back in the day. You know, off the scoreboard, off of this, nothing but net. So that was that.
That was a great one, yeah.
But I'm happy to see that the crypto commercials are going away. We did have the E-Trade baby. That was good. Those were good commercials.
Those were really good, and they came back last year too.
Yeah, he did make a comeback last year. Alexis Silver.
Yeah, so I just had a Google. The BMW one I was on about, I've just put in the Discord, and it was like a minute long as well. So they paid like big money for that. But
I haven't. I mean, maybe I just don't remember them, but I haven't seen a vehicle commercial that I think is good.
this one, I think it was just the fact it were Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Zeus
Yeah.
and getting annoyed.
Yeah, I mean, you have big stars and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
what old people call. Oh, I think I remember that.
I don't.
So yeah, that's our I mean, if you have anything else for halftime or for commercials.
I don't, but I do think we've done bets and odds. We've done commercials. We've done the halftime show. I'm looking at Dennis's magical whiteboard now.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
an official
I think
Still Talking podcast whiteboard, by the way.
it is.
Yeah.
Very
is.
official.
Sponsored.
I finally hung it up for the first time.
It's sponsored by Dry Erase Marker.
Yeah.
Expo, that's right.
But I think it's time to get into the nitty gritty, the fun stuff of the Super Bowl, in which two of us support different teams
We do.
playing in the Super Bowl. I feel for you, Dennis. It must be hard knowing in advance you're going to lose, but we will cross that bridge.
It's really funny. I told you I'm taking you to school today.
Here we go,
So,
boys. I'll sit out and listen to this and interject when I need to.
A referee doesn't just get to sit out.
I mean, I'll listen, and if I feel I need to interject.
See, Britt knows it's time for the green fly argument.
Yeah. Neko, I'm actually the same way. I will have my choice at the end of this podcast.
Yes. Now, I do have a choice, and I do also have. Excuse me. I do also have a not just a prediction, but a spoiler at the end of the show. But I just want to point a couple things out real quick here. Number one, I don't want to take away anything the Philadelphia Eagles have done this year. Fantastic team. I also very much so like my good friend who doesn't know me, but I know him, Shannon Sharp. Very well put out. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles, top to bottom, from 1 to 53, has the better roster. I feel like they have the most complete team of the two teams in the Super Bowl. But I also believe the Kansas City Chiefs have the better individual players. And because of those better individual players in those individual spots, quarterback, tight end, defensive lineman, I believe they make enough plays to win the game. Another thing I want to bring to your attention, Sir Fly of Green, something that's very important, again, not taking away from who the Eagles played or who the Chiefs played, but the Eagles did have the second worst strength of schedule for the 2022 season. The second worst, only behind the New York Giants, who was also in the same division. Second worst. You know who had the hardest, the toughest strength of schedule this year? Number 1, Buffalo Bills. Number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. The second hardest schedule, and we're here to the Super Bowl. You had the second easiest schedule. I don't believe you've been battle tested. I don't believe you've seen a team like the Kansas City Chiefs at all this year. I don't think you've played a quarterback in the elite caliber that Patrick Mahomes is in. I love Jalen Hurts. I love Miles Sanders. I love A.J. Brown. I love Devontae Smith. I love Dallas Goedert, Jason Kelsey, excuse me. Lane Johnson is playing with a completely separated something. But who you play matters. And you preach that to me all the time. Who you play matters. As you have described multiple times in how the Europeans do their football leagues in different tiers. If this were tiered, Kansas City was playing in a tougher tier this year than the Philadelphia Eagles were. And I believe that's going to show.
So,
Floor is yours, sir.
First things first, you've made the biggest mistake you could have made in this, in linking it to European British sports. I never said tiers are the most important thing, because tiers are irrelevant in the situation. The Chiefs, the Eagles, they're in the same league. They play the same teams. Okay, not every team we play is the same. We have different schedules. But every team that you can play is a team that the Philadelphia Eagles can play. That's how it works. They're all part of the same league, the NFL. Here we go. Right? You want to talk about strength of schedule? I understand. The Eagles blessed. We were blessed this year. And at no point did I say we weren't. But what I will say is, we have played teams this year that have beat the Kansas City Chiefs. The Indianapolis Colts, for example, beat the Chiefs. The Indianapolis Colts are a team that the Eagles beat this year. So strength of schedule is important if we haven't played the same teams at all. We have beat teams that have beat you. You have beat teams that have beat us. We have both beat teams that the other team have beat, right? So that's all well and good. Strength of schedule is important. I understand that. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the argument to end all arguments. Because, as I said, the Colts, for example, beat you, we beat them. Doesn't necessarily make us better than you. It doesn't necessarily make the Colts better than you. It's all that is a placeholder until the playoffs. The reason I think the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl is purely, as you said, individual talent. Right? And I will say Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league. I never question that. I think Dallas Goedert is up there. I don't think he's necessarily second, but he's up there.
I think Neko would
Travis
disagree
Kelce
with
is
that.
the best tight end in the league. Patrick Mahomes, I think, is just about the best quarterback in the league. I don't think it's as clear as it was a couple of years ago. I think you look at it now, this season alone, Joe Burrows, Jalen Hurts, there's a couple of people nipping at his heels. And he has maintained it. He got MVP, fair play. He's had a great season. But Jalen Hurts has had a great season. So they're both coming into this hot. But Jalen Hurts is coming into it completely fit. And I think that is a major point. I don't think Patrick Mahomes' ankle is fully ready to go after a week off. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be able to move, but I don't see him being his 100% mobile self. And against the defense that contains the likes of Hassan Reddick, that poses threats. That poses major threats. We saw it against the Niners. Brock Purdy got slightly injured. Well, Brock Purdy got very injured and then went out. And all of a sudden, a non-mobile quarterback was easy pickings for a very, very, very good pass defense. I also think we have the better offensive line. I think our quarterback's going to be free to do what he wants a lot more. And I think we have, bar Travis Kelce, I think we have a better lineup of receivers. I don't think it's going to be one-sided. I think the Eagles just edge it based on those points.
Fair points. Fair points. A lot of facts, some opinions. I will say this, though, when it comes to your most recent rebuttal on your defensive line. Your defensive line is deep. I think you run 6 deep, if I remember correctly. On your defensive line, you rotate I believe, every second or third play. Keep guys fresh.
So at least we have been playoffs and like
correct.
late regular season, yeah. I don't know if it'll be the case tomorrow, but
I believe no one's scratched for tomorrow or potentially out. But Kansas City Chiefs offensive line actually rated the best in pass blocking win rate this entire year. So you're looking at, and as you said about your offensive line, our offensive line actually wins the most in pass blocking win rate. And the one thing that we do best, because we do have the best quarterback in the league, is throw the ball. And I'm not saying us losing Tyreek Hill made Patrick Mahomes better, but I believe it developed him more. He had two big safety nets that he can just throw it to no matter what, in Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and now he only has half of that safety net in Travis Kelce, which is still a big safety net. When you're the best tight end in the league, it is a big safety net. So
it's
it's a
one hell of a safety net to have.
yeah, absolutely.
I will never question Travis Kelce being the best tight end in the world, tight end in the league. Sorry.
But I believe with our offensive line, I think Patrick Mahomes stays clean all game. Maybe a sack or two, maybe a chase down, as he's trying to escape from the pocket. I don't believe Patrick is on his back. The same way I don't believe Jalen Hurts is on his back a lot either. I think Jalen Hurts is creative enough to get out of the pocket quite a bit, extend plays, could really hurt us with the read option. I don't think either offensive line is going to disappoint their quarterback. I don't think either one is going to lose a game that way.
I don't think the offensive line are going to disappoint Kansas. I just think Mahomes is going to get hit more than Hurts. And I think that in and on itself can be a big deciding factor in what I think is going to be a very close game.
As do I. I don't have either team running away with this at all. I think it's going to be a very close game. But I'm going to go with the team that's been tried and true, have been there before. This is their third appearance in 5 years. I do believe if Kansas City wins, they can, at that point, accept the title of dynasty, given what they've done over the last 5 years. If they win, if they don't win, then they are definitely not a dynasty. But they got to win, and I believe they will.
Feel free to check chat for any arguments you guys want to use.
I'm looking.
Neko's put a few good ones in there. Obviously, we know who you're rooting for, but here's one I'd like you both to answer, and I'll go with Dennis first, just to give Greenfly a little bit more time.
Sure.
How do the Eagles beat the Chiefs? How do you see that happening? You have to answer it like they have to beat them. So, if this happens,
what does Philadelphia have to do to what? Or if Philly wins, why did they win? Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yep. Here's how they win. Philadelphia wins by exposing our secondary. The exact same game plan they had going into San Francisco is I don't believe running the ball. Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. Running the ball is not going to kill us. See Derrick Henry. How many times the best running back in the league has not been able to beat us? Running the ball, keeping the ball away from Mahomes off the field, you're just not going to do that. Our defense is actually one of the better run defenses in the NFL as well. I believe we're in the top 12. It's our secondary. We're going to give up big plays. We're not going to make the plays that we made against Cincinnati. And you take advantage of our youth and inexperience. I believe there's going to be three rookies starting in our secondary. If the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs, it's because they took advantage of the inexperience in our secondary. I'm not scared of the run game. Miles Sanders is very good. I'm not scared of the run game. No, multiple teams have not shut down Henry. Multiple teams have been able to win the game even with Henry going off. But no one has shut down Derrick Henry.
I think the Niners did. So you're the way that the Eagles win is they need to do what?
Expose the youth and inexperience in the secondary.
So
beat us by the passing game.
See, I'll interject here a little bit. How did you beat Brady? How did you beat Peyton? How did you beat these quarterbacks? You didn't let them have the ball. You ball control You kept the ball. You kept it out of their hands. They can't score if they don't have the ball. So, I think that's kind of where Necco is with running the ball. It's keep Mahomes off the field. Like, he is the number one quarterback for a reason. He can't do anything if he's sitting on the sidelines. So
Real quick, Neko, 3 games out of 17. No, sir, you please stop. 3 out of 17, he was under 40 yards. Please get better stats. That's a terrible, terrible stat take. 3 games under 40 yards out of 17. Nice try. Try again.
well, you said that you guys were the only ones that stopped him. You said nobody else did. That's where his. And he never played 17. I know he didn't play week 17. All right, on to Greenfly. You can argue with Necco in the meantime.
I'm not going to argue with.
Oh,
I'm not going to argue with Neko. I think a lot of what Neko said makes sense. I think we have to control the game. Like, the one thing we have to do is the one thing we did.
That's not the question, though.
Game. Yeah, how we're going to beat the Chiefs.
No. How do the Chiefs beat you?
How do the Chiefs beat us?
Yes. What has to happen for the Chiefs to beat you?
They have to keep Patrick Mahomes clear at all times. If we can't get to Patrick Mahomes, for I'd say 90% of their offensive play, the Eagles stand very little chance. I will say that now. They stand very little chance. If Patrick Mahomes is given the chance to do what he does, which is get the ball and pass it off, or even find the yard of space and pick up the yards himself, we don't stand. I would say we don't stand a chance. We stand very little chance because he's the best at what he does. I don't think they're going to keep him clear all game. And when they don't do that, I think they need to tie up our pass rush. Not our pass rush, sorry. They need to tie up our secondary because we have a very good secondary in itself. And they're not going to get too many big gains unless they do something very special. The main one for me is keep us away from Patrick Mahomes. They probably win this game.
Okay, I agree with that. I agree that that's your statement. I'll go to Greenfly first on this one. Can the Eagles win this game if it's a shootout?
Yes.
How?
So what do you mean by shootout? Just explain shootout to me. I'm going to say yes.
What a shootout, basically, in my opinion, what a shootout is just both teams just going up and down the field. We're getting, 30, 40-yard plays, basically a college football game, that, the defense isn't doing anything. The scores are in the high 30s to 40. Can
I'm going to say yes.
The Eagles win in a shootout?
I'm going to say yes.
Can they score if so basically it's this way. If Kansas City is at will going up and down the field, can the Eagles Eagles keep up with them and win?
I'm going to say yeah, we can definitely keep up. We have, for me, the best receiving line in the game. I think we have probably this season. I was very close to giving my MVP to Hurts. I did say that it was Patrick Mahomes in the end. I said this to Dennis, but Hurts was not far behind. So we have a quarterback that, based on this season, can definitely hang, can definitely keep up. And as I said,
Receivers,
we
yes.
have AJ Brown, we have Devontae Smith, we have Goddard, we have three of the best receiving players in the league this season. That means we can go toe to toe with anybody, and Hurts will find them, as he has all season. I also think we are the team that is more likely to get a pick.
Interesting.
Yes.
Dennis,
Yes, sir.
can the Chiefs win if this is a knockout, slug-out, low-scoring game? And how? If this is a defensive game where it's 9 to
Where
6,
it's ugly.
10 to
Where
6,
it's ugly.
you
Yeah.
know, where it's the offenses are not moving the ball, can they win and how?
I do. But here's the only way that I see they're going to win. And actually, this is the only way I think this is how I predict they're going to win. The way they win, even in a low-scoring game, is they get the ball last.
You're not wrong with that.
That's the only way I see that they win, is that if they have the ball last.
Okay. And I guess this is to either one of you here. Do the Eagles need to be up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter?
No.
No. And yeah, Neko, to answer your question, the Eagles receivers are considerably better than Kansas City.
They're the best in the game, but not the best in the league. Is what his
I don't think they're the best
up-
in the league, but I
they're
think
up
they've
there,
been
though.
the best in the league this season.
You guys didn't pay
They're-
attention to Waddle and Tyreek?
As a collective
yeah.
receiving unit this season, I think the Eagles have had the best.
If not the best, up there. I won't say best, but definitely.
I'd say
definitely
best
up
or
there.
very close.
Yeah, you can't ignore what Miami did with Waddle and Hill. As far as
But
best
going
receiver.
into this game specifically, yes.
No, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
not-
anybody.
well,
I mean,
even-
you're picking people
Even if Kansas
off
City was
of-
healthy, yeah.
Yeah, you're picking people off the produce line to play receiver for you at this point. If you're
It
Kansas
doesn't
City.
matter, Neko. That doesn't matter. The Super Bowl isn't always the best
That's
player.
He's still arguing. He's saying
He-
because Greenfly said they have the best receivers in the league, and he's arguing about that. They have the best receivers in this game, but not-
Oh, okay.
What I will
Okay.
say is, Neko, what I will say is,
I got you, Neko.
that
My
there
bad.
is
I
probably a
apologize.
bit of bias to that on my end, but if not the best, we have at least been up there as one of the best.
you're at McDonald's. Can I get a
Which
cherry
two
pie
non-Eagles
and
fans
a
have just
McChicken
agreed
sandwich?
and accepted anyway.
Thank
But
you.
me putting them best is probably
Please.
not just biased, but the fact
Their-
that I've
their
watched
shake
more
machine's
Eagles
probably out
than
of
I have
order,
anybody else this season.
Yeah, I like a Shamrock shake, but it's probably out of order.
So yeah, I did say the best in the league, and I stand by that. But it is probably bias in the fact that I've watched Eagles more than anybody else.
We got a double there. Yeah.
Can I have one of the barbecue chicken and bacon crispy wraps, please?
I don't think we have wraps here anymore.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So back to my point of the Eagles need to be up by 2 scores. I feel that if they're not up by 2 scores, the Eagles might be in trouble. Because back to the whole, I don't think the Eagles can match Mahomes in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And I think they need to be up by 2 scores. And if I said 2 touchdowns, I didn't quite mean that. Just 2 scores.
A 2-possession game.
Yeah. If it's a 1-possession game, I would hold on to your hat. Unless it's
yeah.
unless it's a 1-possession game where it's like 9 to 6, where nobody's moving the ball. Then it's like, okay,
Yep.
well, this is just defense,
Yep.
know, and stuff like that. But if you're in the late teens, if you're in the 20s, the 30s, I would hold on to my hat. And I haven't made.
Yep.
I'm still leaning one way or the other on which way I'm going to go. But
I'm gonna say I agree with Neko, but I may be going the opposite way. I think if a team goes 2-up, then they win.
it depends on
Like,
when in the game. If it's early, if it's first half, I don't.
If it's first quarter,
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
worried.
No,
but
I like third to fourth quarter. If the Eagles are up by 2, I think they're winning it. If the Chiefs are up by 2, I think they're winning it.
yeah, we're not having a Patriots Falcons.
I will also say
Oh, definitely not.
I do agree with Neko. If both QBs end up going out, I don't see the Eagles beating the Chiefs.
I would love that, by the way.
Gardner Minshew versus Chad Henne.
I have money on either one of them winning the MVP.
No way, really.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no.
I don't want anybody to get hurt,
Gardner,
obviously.
I
But
can't speak. Gardner Minshew does not win us a game, unfortunately.
play Niners. Nobody gets a quarterback. We're playing Niners football.
No one gets a quarterback. Nope.
So yeah,
Can we have Jason Kelsey throw the ball? I have money on it.
for him to throw the ball or to catch it.
To score.
It doesn't count as his score if he throws it.
I don't give a fuck, though, man.
But you have
Well,
money
the bettors
on it.
do.
You would win your bet.
I do. I've just realized. Yeah, I do give a fuck.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do. Indeed, you do.
So I kind of liked Greenfly's analysis. I liked Dennis's analysis. Greenfly did come up with one thing. He said that more likely, that Patrick Mahomes throws an interception. So that's that's.
I will say this. I believe, I agree with that. However, how it happens, I believe it's either off a receiver's hands or I don't believe it would be Patrick's fault. Let me just say that. I don't think it would be Mahomes' fault.
I mean, it's a broad statement because at the end of the first half, if it's a Hail Mary, I mean, nothing. Sure. That's a broad statement. You
Very
never
true.
take your starting center out to put him in the receiving
that does make
receiving
sense.
line. Don't ever do that.
I don't care.
But I agree. If he has a chance to recover a fumble because they do run the ball at the goal line, and the ball could squirt out, he does have a chance of recovering a fumble for a touchdown. I think that's the only way that he could actually score a touchdown.
Correct.
Now, if he scores a touchdown and Travis Kelce does not score a touchdown, that's some
bragging rights forever.
Rights. Yeah.
Even if the Chiefs win, but if Jason scores a touchdown and Travis doesn't, that's bragging rights forever. Forever.
Right. So let's move on. So we obviously know who you're taking.
So just on a really quick note, while we're talking about interceptions, does no one see a Malcolm Butler 2015
Where he sits out?
interception in a win the game?
He meant 2014.
It could be the right year. I don't know. I just know
It was the Super Bowl. It was the Super Bowl in 2015. Patriots, Seahawks.
I mean, I know there was one Super Bowl where they pretty much benched him for no reason.
Yeah, no, it was the one where he intercepted it just inside the end zone. I think it was. And
I don't think I've seen that Super Bowl. What was that?
Are you talking about where they should have ran the damn ball?
Yes.
With Marshawn
Yes.
Lynch?
There's actually an analytical argument that throwing the ball there was the better decision. I won't bore you with it tonight.
It's a very boring argument then, because that's not the right decision.
Analytically,
it was a
analytically,
Analytically, if you have Marshawn Lynch, you run the ball.
It was dumb.
Okay, I got to get into it. Okay, right, Doman, off the top of your head, do you know the percentage of passes that were intercepted closer than the 3-yard line that entire year?
It was probably like 2%.
0.02%. Do you know how many touchdowns Russell Wilson had thrown that year within that same distance?
I do not know.
7.
Okay.
Analytically, And the fact that it wasn't even yet 4th and goal,
Even worse.
that was the right play call. Because you had
they had a
2 other plays that you could have ran if that went incomplete.
Or what you're saying is you had 2 options you could have done before you resorted to that would have meant you kept the ball.
I mean,
How many times?
Running backs can pump the ball. I give you that. Here's
they can. Yeah, they can.
Here's the hole to your argument. If you told me this was Kyle Shanahan with the Niners making this choice, if you told me this was McVay with the Rams making this choice, I'll give you that. Pete Carroll is not an analytics guy. You can maybe make the argument later. He's not an analytics guy. He doesn't have an analytic. He doesn't have that background. And I'm not saying it's because he's old, but because he's old.
But it would sound like to me. I'm not going to say ageism, but I mean,
yeah.
you know.
But he doesn't have that background. So the background he has is smash mouth football. Boom, handoff. Boom, handoff. Boom, handoff. Boom, handoff. Like that right there is 4 handoffs to get Marshawn Lynch across the goal line. If you get a penalty, holding something, then yeah, you're probably throwing it. Yeah, like Staley from the Chargers. Another one that's like big in analytics. Nobody can look at me and tell me that Pete Carroll was looking at an analytical play sheet at that point. And I don't even know who their offensive coordinator was, whether he was looking at an analytical play sheet. So the right call in that moment is to run the ball.
100%.
In that moment with those coaches, yes. If that's the same situation,
Cameo 100% agrees. Skittles are amazing.
See, this is where we could disagree. Not disagree, but Skittles are good. The UK Skittles are different than the US Skittles.
The UK Skittles are incredible.
Yeah.
I've never had US Skittles.
Well, you guys we have grape as our purple. Your purple is
blackcurrant.
Yeah, we're not allowed to have that. Apparently, that's like illegal in the United States.
You know, man.
Hi.
What?
The offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks that year was Darrell Bevel. You know what he's known for?
Throwing interception at the 1-yard line.
Statistics.
I agree.
And analytics.
No, what he
that
is known
is
for
what
is throwing
he. I'm looking at it on Google right now, my man.
Yeah, but Dennis, what he is known for, when you said his name, the only thing that came to mind was he called the play that threw an interception at a 1-yard line.
Yes. Anyways.
That lost them a Super Bowl.
You can call the play, it has to be executed. Russell Wilson is showing us now why he is overrated.
All right. You got to order, right?
McDouble with cheese.
Okay. So anyways, circling back to this year's Super Bowl. Obviously, we know what your predictions are. Let's hear the scores. What do you think?
My score, Kansas City 31, Philadelphia 28. It is a last-second field goal by Harrison Butker that wins us the Super Bowl.
What is a Momoas?
A Mawam.
Mamaws.
A Mawam. And Mawams are incredible. The little block ones are the best ones, though.
You can have
I'm
one
not a fan of like the refreshing.
You can have one tomorrow after the game to make yourself feel better after you lose.
The little block ones. Oh, the cola blocks. Yeah. The cola blocks are incredible. Love me some Mawams. What were we talking about? Sorry.
We need your score prediction. So we have a 31-28. Is that what I heard?
Yes, 31-28 Kansas City. From Medenis.
Eagles.
Maoams.
Get off the Moams and write down the predictions.
I mean,
We're
Yeah.
both in chat.
Well, yours is in the Discord.
Mine's in the Discord.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like just underneath Dennis's.
Oh, okay, good job. Egos won't kick that much. You're not wrong. As we've noticed this year.
I also think that's going to be a big thing. I think fourth down is something we're more likely to convert, which allows us to keep the ball longer. Which means Patrick Mahomes doesn't have it, which means I'm safe.
That's only if it's 3rd and 4th and short.
What, Nick? 28-26.
I'm not sure if he is making his prediction there.
Or he's I don't know if he's making a prediction or he's misheard a prediction.
So,
That 98-32 is interesting.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, but Cameo, who's winning? We need to know the answer to who's winning.
If someone scores 98 in the Super Bowl, we all win.
Yeah, but if it's the Eagles, I win more.
Eagles.
Yes!
All right, so the Vegas line on this, with the under-over 4 touchdowns and 1-4 2-point conversions. Right. Oh, scoring. So 32. 32, 26. Whatever it is. 1 of 4. 1 of 4, not 4-4. Gotcha. So the Vegas line on this would be 27-25, give or take a half a point, in favor of the Eagles.
Also, Cameo, I just want to say that Eagles fans won't kill you if you select the Chiefs. At least I don't think they will.
Have you seen how they celebrate?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. We have to win for someone to die.
That's not true.
Not true at all.
Not true. Yeah.
Smart move, Cameo.
Neko, I have been to Philly a few times, yes.
Yeah. They you don't have to win. All right. So my prediction, after listening to both, don't go there.
No, surprisingly, Neko, I didn't go to Dallas Jets.
Speaking of, sidebar again. Did you see the guy with the death wish last night? The cameraman at the Sixers game had a Chiefs hat on.
Ooh, I did not see that.
Yeah.
I did not see that.
Yeah. I thought it was kind of
Bold
fun.
strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Yeah. So my prediction after listening to both of your arguments, not that either one of you made any sense at all, in my mind.
No, we were just like fan ramble. It's fine.
Yeah. In my opinion, this game is going to come down to the fourth quarter. In my opinion, the team that wins will have to be up in the fourth quarter and have to fend off the other team. In my opinion, this is going to be a 27-23 game, which sucks because I have one of the teams scoring 30 points. So I'm hoping it's not 27-23, which means that whoever has the ball trailing, steal their identity, whoever has the ball trailing will have to score a touchdown and will not be able to score a touchdown in the final 2 minutes, meaning your Super Bowl 58? Is that what we are?
57.
58. It's 58.
No, LVII. That's
it's
57.
58. It's 58, Dennis.
I'm looking at.
That's 57.
Yes, LVII is 57.
Super Bowl 2023. LVII.
Which is
57.
I can't copy and paste. 2 seconds. LVII. Roman numerals.
It's
can't wait.
57. Anyways,
Right. I'm going to say this because.
Here we go.
No, hear me out.
Just admit you were wrong. It's okay.
No, I'm wrong. LVII is 57. But when I type in Super Bowl 2023 and I copy and paste the LVII, Google adds a third eye.
I hate
So
that third eye.
I've been Googling LVII every time, even though I've just copy and pasted it. But yeah, it is 57.
All right. So 27-23, the winner of Super Bowl 57 tomorrow night. Two-time champion Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs.
We've got the Doman Silver approval, guys.
And
All
I am
this means is
0
all this
for
means
70
is I
in my last seal approvals.
all this means is I proved two of you wrong.
I mean, that's your opinion.
That is right. That is.
Until that's why they play the game.
Thank you, Herm Edwards, Coach Herm
They
Edwards.
play to win the game. But yeah, that's how I think it's going to happen. I would be very disappointed if one of the team lays an egg. Either one. Because I think this is
Correct.
going to be a game that does come down to the fourth quarter. I don't know if we can get overtime out of it. Obviously, we could. But I think it's going to be close.
Ooh.
I think the
Ooh.
Eagles will probably get off in the first half. Not necessarily the first score, but in the first half, will probably be leading at halftime. I think that Kansas City takes the lead in the third quarter and into the fourth quarter, and then they hold the lead into the fourth quarter. And Philadelphia has the ball in the last 2 minutes with a chance to score. Maybe they don't get down past the 20 or 30, but that's how I see it playing out.
You just said something very interesting
Me?
about overtime. Yeah.
I
know.
don't
First time ever. I know.
Ever, yeah.
Overtime. There's new overtime rules as well, where each team would have a chance to score.
Is it even?
They made that change 2 years ago
It's
when
the-
Kansas City beat Buffalo.
It's the Buffalo
Yeah.
rule.
Yeah,
Is it-
the Buffalo rule. Yeah.
But is it if one team scores a touchdown, the other team then gets a chance,
Can
or is
match
it if
it.
one team scores
They can
a
match it,
field goal?
correct.
Right. Okay. I knew it was if, say, the Eagles went down and scored a field goal, the Chiefs had the chance to go down and score a touchdown. I haven't seen it come into play where it was a touchdown, and then a chance to score a touchdown. So I wasn't 100% sure. Yeah.
Correct. Yes, that so yes, that was the old rule. Is if you score a field goal, then the other team gets a chance. But if you scored a touchdown, game's over. But after that Buffalo Kansas City game 2 years ago, the NFL changed the rules for playoffs
I mean,
and
it's
Super
fair.
Bowl only.
It makes sense. It's fair.
Right.
Philly special to win. I think that actually would be more predictable this time around with
Yeah,
Jalen Hurts than it was with Nick Foles.
That's not happening again.
It's also different coaching staff, different philosophy, different style.
It's like you say, it's more predictable. Jalen Hurts moving and then receiving a touchdown is considerably more likely than what you would expect from Nick Foles.
It is, but if you remember the Super Bowl, the
Oh,
Eagles.
come on. Believe me, I remember the Super Bowl. Go on.
Okay. If you remember the Super Bowl with the Eagles, the Patriots actually ran that same play, throwing it to Brady. Brady's 40-some years old and can't catch, and it was a little bit overthrown on him, but they ran the exact same play. So whether it's Jalen Hurts or Nick Foles, you can run it with anybody. You can run it with Tom Brady, who can't run to save his life. So I don't think that they're going to run that. Now, I do hope that Kansas City runs the merry-go-round play again.
That was cool.
Now, according to Steve Mariucci, he talked to Andy Reid and he asked if he would at least do it once, and he said he would. So, because you could run any formation out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a variation to confuse the defense for a second.
Right, because you're just doing a quick snap at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see the pic of Brady half naked that
He's
was
just
posted
sitting
to
there on
Twitter.
his bed.
But I am currently loading Twitter.
You know what? I'm glad I've been banned off Twitter. That's great.
So, yeah,
For you, Elon.
I think I hope the game's going to be good. I really hope the commercials are good. I'm not as optimistic about the halftime show. But what's always good for the Super Bowl is the food. No matter where you're at, Super Bowl food is always better than any other food.
Always
Dennis,
better.
Check Discord. Dennis, check Discord.
Okay.
Do it.
Don't mind. Do it.
I already seen the photo.
What the? I am disturbed.
It doesn't matter if you're banned off Twitter.
I'm disturbed. That did not make me feel all warm and fuzzy down in my tum-tum.
Did Missouri just win? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They did. So, food. Back to Domain, one of Domain's specialties.
Let's go.
I mean,
Get it?
You said that wasn't me laughing at Dennis's joke. I just nearly choked.
Yeah, there is just so much good food. Between pizza and wings, dips, meatballs, and
Tacos.
Anything. Like, food on Super Bowl Sunday tastes better than food on any other day.
Couldn't agree more.
I'll give you that.
Amen, brother.
Even as an Englishman that watches, like, his team win the Premier League or his team win the Champions League, Super Bowl Sunday wings hit more than anything else.
Ooh, what is the temperature going to be like tomorrow for you out there, Domain?
I believe we have a heat wave coming.
So do we.
We are at 41 tomorrow.
We're at
50. We're at 50 tomorrow.
We're at 57.
We're at 9.
We're going to be at 57. I may bust out the grill. There is a high probability of me busting out the grill.
High probability. Yeah, I mean, that's...
We will be at 48.2. Apparently.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all, actually.
Cold. That's 9 degrees Celsius.
I mean, that's still not bad.
it's 42.5.
It's wintertime.
That's cold.
You're
That's
cold.
not cold.
Hey, Dennis, I'm hot and you know it.
He's sexy and he knows it too.
Until this Super Bowl is over, I will not compliment you.
Don't lie.
You guys have to
There
go
is
to separate corners and come out swinging tomorrow.
What Prem team do I support? Unfortunately, at this moment in time, Camille, I support Liverpool. But we've been good for a few years, and now we're just not very good. For some reason, this year we're not very good.
For some reason.
Dennis, we have the same team that we have had for the last couple of years. We've lost one player. That is it. We have been challenging for the league title for the past 4 or 5 years, and this year we are 10th.
You know who's never been 10th in the league since he's came there?
Do you know what? Yeah,
Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes
I fully agree.
has never been 10th.
Jake Paul. Fuck Jake
Never.
Paul.
Well, now that we're talking about that old school football, that doesn't go with our
Yeah.
podcast.
Proper
Fake
football.
football. The fake football.
Right.
Proper football, the one that's used with a ball that you kick with your feet.
I mean, that's...
Don't get it started because we'll win the argument and he'll,
You won't win the argument.
That's your opinion. Anyways.
Hey, Domain,
Right.
what starts the game of every American football game?
The kickoff.
The kickoff with their foot
With
on
their
a
foot.
ball, right?
Yes.
And so eloquently named a football,
Which-
correct?
Which, hence the name of the
Just
football.
out of
Are we also going to...
Dennis, just out of curiosity, in football, as in the football I know and love and watch every single weekend, and not what's happening on Sunday night, but you're not allowed to use your hands because it's football.
Unless you're a goalie,
Only
and then
one-
apparently that
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
but a goalkeeper.
Unless you're a goalie.
Yeah.
No one likes goalkeepers though. They get in the way.
Pretty sure Liverpool really likes their goalkeeper. Well, not this year.
I know. Even this year, I really like Alisson. Alisson is nice. He's a handsome chap. He's very good at his job, and he is the exception to the foot rule. But yeah, we use our feet.
Interesting.
You use your hands, and
It is
you use an egg.
You also know who else uses their hands?
Cheaters.
Me, tomorrow while I'm eating food during the Super Bowl.
Woo!
I can't wait.
Thank you for joining us for our special
Sorry.
edition of the Super Bowl edition of the Still Talking Podcast, episode 30.
3-0.
Rip, don't worry. I've booked the days off work. I am drinking, and drinking, celebrating, and celebrating, and celebrating. Eagles 24, Chiefs 21, Dennis cries, Doorman cries in, support, and Greenfly stands atop the mountain. Fly, Eagles, fly.
That's your opinion. Anyways,
That
what's
is
not an opinion
Not
is...
an opinion, Doorman. It's a spoiler.
What's not an opinion is we appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for being here. Catch us the next time on the Still Talking Podcast. And make sure to watch the Super Bowl tomorrow between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Whoever wins, whoever loses. If you do, celebrate, drink responsibly, be careful, and see us back here next week, in 2 weeks, whenever the time is. Thank you for being here once again.
Before
We
we
appreciate-
stop the podcast completely, I just want to say, Dennis, really quickly, good luck.
Same to you. Absolutely,
best-
genuinely,
may the best team
genuinely, same to you. Genuinely, I hope the best team wins as well.
Goodbye.
Godspeed.